Hi everyone, thank you for giving us this opportunity. We are the AfriVerse AI Ideathon group, and today we are excited to share our vision with you. African culture is incredibly rich, diverse and beautiful. From the bright Ankara prints of West Africa to the elegant gomesi worn by women in Uganda, to the kanzu for men, every detail tells a story of who we are. Our music, our proverbs, our dances, our ceremonies carry a deep meaning passed down for generations. Yet when we ask today's generative AI systems to show these things, they struggle. If you type Buganda traditional wedding into an image generator, instead of showing drums, dancing, gomesi attires, and cultural blessings, for example, with the existing generative AI tools, when you prompt them to give you a Buganda introduction ceremony, this is what the output is, but in reality, this is not a Buganda introduction ceremony. The second prompt we tried out was an image of Baganda women putting on a gomesi. The output are African people, but in reality, this is not a gomesi. Bringing us to our problem and what we are trying to solve as AfriVerse AI, we have to bring African culture to reality, and it has to be represented in generative models. So the opportunity is clear. By bridging the gap in AI, AfriVerse does not just preserve heritage, it positions Africa as a leader in the next wave of AI innovation. This is a chance for Africa not only to participate, but to define how AI represents us. African film industry alone, Ugandan cinema, Kenyan production, South African storytelling produces thousands of hours of content every year. These films are not just entertainment, they are living archives of our languages, traditions, and fashion. This treasure remains untouched by AI. The education sector across Africa is growing with millions of students who will need culturally relevant content. Imagine a teacher generating authentic visuals of Baganda dancers for a history lesson, or students exploring Kiswahili proverbs through an AI-powered app. The global creative economy is hungry for diversity. Media houses, museums, game developers, and advertising agencies are all searching for authentic African content, and AfriVerse AI can become the trusted source. Is AfriVerse AI, a dataset and a platform that teaches generative AI models to represent Africa authentically. Instead of relying on Western-centric data, we use authentic African films, cultural works, languages, and stories to train AI system. This ensures that when someone asks for a Baganda wedding, a Swahili proverb, a Maasai attire, AI responds with cultural accuracy, not stereotypes. With our key pillars being cultural image datasets curated from African films and open culture archives. Second pillar being languages and proverbs. They're extracted from film subtitles, transcribed with AI tools like Whisper AI. Lastly, the generative prototypes, which are fine-tuned models like Stable Diffusions, the Llama Bloom for culturally accurate outputs. When we ask ourselves whether AfriVerse AI matters, yes, it really does matter, because representation matters. When technology tells our stories wrongly, it doesn't just make a mistake, it rewrites identity. And right now, most generative AI tools show Africa through stereotypes. They show black faces, yes, but not our attires, not our ceremonies, not our wisdom. They see the color of our skin, but not the richness of our culture. AfriVerse AI matters because it protects heritage, our dances, proverbs, our weddings, our languages. If they are not captured in digital age, they risk being erased. AfriVerse AI makes sure the future generations, our children and grandchildren, will see themselves in technology as they truly are. AfriVerse AI matters because it empowers opportunity, it creates new pathways for filmmakers, linguistics, and cultural experts to benefit from AI. AfriVerse AI matters because it changes the global story. The world is hungry for diversity. By teaching AI to tell African stories correctly, AfriVerse AI not only fixing a problem, it's giving Africa a voice in shaping the future of artificial intelligence. AfriVerse AI matters because without it, Africa is invisible in AI. With it, Africa becomes visible, celebrated, and empowered. On to how we demonstrated this, and that is our methodology. It is clear, practical, and rooted in African culture. We designed a pipeline that takes authentic culture data and turns it into a working AI demo. We extract frames and subtitles. We start with open licensed African films using tools like FFmpeg and OpenCV. We extract samples frames, one image every few seconds along with subtitles. This gives us raw visuals and linguistic material straight from authentic cultural sources. Then we transcribe with Whisper. We run the audio track through Whisper AI to generate transcripts of dialogue. This captures spoken language, proverbs, and idioms exactly as they are used in context, and we annotate with culture experts. The extracted frames and transcripts are then carefully annotated. Culture experts, linguistics, and community validators label the attires, rituals, ceremonies, and proverbs. For example, a frame showing a woman in a gomesi and a man in a kanzu. This step ensures authenticity and prevents stereotypes. We fine-tune existing generative AI models, stable diffusion for image generation, Bloom or similar for language generation. Then for the proof of concept, for the ideathon, our pilot scope focused on a single culture domain, Baganda wedding attire. We built a demo using the Gemini AI to validate our pipeline. When you type a prompt, a Muganda woman wearing a gomesi or a Muganda man in a kanzu, the system generates a culturally accurate image, but validated by experts. This proof of concept shows that the approach works and can be scaled to cover other cultures across Africa.
Let's dive into the proof of concept for AfriVerse AI. My name is Nakabuka Regina Desire, and I'll be taking you through this section. I'll start by doing a quick Google search for a woman in gomesi. As you can see, this is how the gomesi looks like. It's a traditional dress worn by the Baganda women, and this is exactly what we focused on for our proof of concept. So these are some of the images from the search that shows how the gomesi looks like. So the next thing I would show you is how we brought this up with AfriVerse AI. Now, let me show you how AfriVerse AI handles this. We built a simple web app that generates culturally accurate images based on the data that we have curated. For this demo, we focused on just one traditional attire, that is the gomesi, but you can imagine this scaling to represent all cultures across Africa, and this is why we call it AfriVerse. So the next part of our proof of concept is to show you exactly what the current image generation models do and where they fall short when it comes to representing our culture accurately. For example, we gave a standard image AI generator the prompt a woman wearing a gomesi. As you can see from the results, this isn't quite right, and the attire does not really match the traditional dress, and it misses the cultural details that make the gomesi unique. So these are two different platforms that we used, and we can see that they are not accurate. Then now let's show you what our AfriVerse AI platform does. Notice how it accurately represents the gomesi, capturing the real look and feel of the traditional attire. This is just one example, but then it shows how we can ensure cultural accuracy using our approach. So this is the overall core of our proof of concept, showing that we can move from generic, often inaccurate AI results to something that is culturally respectful and accurate. And while we have started with the gomesi, our goal is to do this for the different cultures across Africa, and that's why we are AfriVerse. Now I would love to show you how our platform actually works in real time. We are using the Gemini API behind the scenes, and we have trained it with data on various gomesi styles. So when we enter a prompt like full view of a woman wearing a gomesi, we expect it to give an image that is close to a gomesi. And the model we are using here is the imagen-4.0-generate-001. So we see that actually the model is picking the right attire. So let's wait for it to display so that we can see it. So this is the attire. So at the end of the day, we see that we are not training or teaching it a specific gomesi, but at the end of the day, it tries to accurately generate something that looks like a gomesi. So that's how we are leveraging the Gemini API for this demo. So when someone asks for a specific culture image, they get something that is not only visually correct, but it's also culturally respectful. And of course, this is just the beginning. Our goal is to expand and represent as many African cultures as we can. And even when we try to tweak the prompt a little bit, that maybe we be specific, we want a green gomesi, at the end of the day, the model will pick the right attire to put on the generated image. So even from the earlier screenshots that we saw from some of the previous images, the model can give different gomesis based on the prompt. So let me quickly introduce our team and what we need to take AfriVerse AI to the next level. Right now, it's a small but a passionate team. So this is Namtebi Esther, who is our team lead, and myself, Nakabuka Regina Desire, who is the technical lead, and Nakazibe Jovia, who is the machine learning and research engineer. So since this is an issue concerning Africa, we welcome all people, regional partners, and everyone. So basically what we are looking for is partnerships with film archives, mentorships on navigating intellectual property, and a bit of support for compute resources to help us train and scale. So of course, since we are realistic about the challenges with any culture AI project, there are risks like ensuring that we have the right IP or intellectual property licenses, and also avoiding culture bias. We intend to consider a lot of regions and also have expert validation. So we are also tackling this by starting with open licensed content and validating everything through culture experts. So we would love anyone to join us, whether you can offer mentorship, connect us to culture institutions, or just cheer us on. We are building AfriVerse AI to ensure Africa's stories are told the right way in the digital age. So yes, we are AfriVerse AI. We are not training AI to guess what Africa looks like. We are teaching AI to listen to our films, learn our languages, and show the world our stories as we know them. With AfriVerse AI, representation isn't an afterthought, it's the point. Thank you.